straight? Is it straight? What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, girl, 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 girl. I just have to make sure it's straight. We are down here, girl. We don't have nothing to talk about. I got my coffee, got my reefer, got everything is here. Um, what is going on? I hope everybody is doing well. Today is Juneteenth, June 19th. It's a federal holiday. Um, I don't know how they're going to do it moving forward. Are we just going to have the days off in the middle of the week whenever Juneteenth falls? Are we going to pick a Monday to observe the holiday, or are we just going to fall on Juneteenth? Now, Juneteenth typically people from the South, typically, and people who have migrated north and have taken the tradition of celebrating Juneteenth because it was something that was just in the South. And my family on my dad's side, because they're from Texas, always celebrated Juneteenth. It was always something going, we're going to do something in the park, we're going to get together, we're going to celebrate Juneteenth, we're going to just celebrate Juneteenth. So, if you don't know what Juneteenth is, let me just go to the thing and um, to the internet and explain it to you real quick. According to the National Museum of African American History, Juneteenth, Frederick Douglass once famously asked, "What to a slave is the 4th of July?" To honor the anniversary of the freedom granted to those enslaved African Americans, we pondered a similar question. What is the significance of Juneteenth to the Black community? In this three-part series, we interviewed three experts at the National Museum of African American History and Culture to find the answer. Mary Elliott, curator of American Slavery and Emancipation; Angela Tate, former museum curator in African American women's history; and Kelly Navies, museum specialist and of oral history. So here are all of the Black women who are giving their perspective of what Juneteenth is. So let me see whose perspective do I want to share. She's a curator. I like to, let me do the oral history because that's very important, because sometimes I think oral history is like the most important thing. That's something that when I was studying Islam, I when I heard about little children being taught the Quran and being taught to memorize the Quran, Hafiz, I think they call them, who memorize, if I remember correctly, who memorize the Quran. So if it's ever burned or destroyed, you have people who have memorized it and can and orate it again, just like the Book of Eli, in the kind of the same sense, where he was kind of taking one book and making sure that it made it to the next destination. These people have memorized. So I don't know if they have those for Christians, but I know in Islam they have people who memorize the Quran, and that is they're taught very early. Here you go, and you're going to memorize it, and you are going to be the one that if anything ever happens to the Quran, you are able to relay it back, and we can put it down once again. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. So I'm always good with the oral history, me being a Virgo ruled by the planet of communication, Mercury. I'm always about talking. I got talked too much. So oral history is like, if you're able to tell the story and retell the story and tell a story and tell a story and memorize the story so that it can be told again, that's very important, because again, we could see how are burned. Books are burned, but they can't burn what's in here unless they take you out of here. And that's the only way. So if the knowledge is here, right, and you've memorized it, and then you can tell somebody else and pass on that oral history, that's it. So let's read the oral. I said all that to say, let's read Kelly E. Navy's museum specialist of oral history. She says, "I'd like to think that Juneteenth is a celebration of freedom, of family, and of joy that emerged from the cauldron of war. After hundreds of years of enslavement and the intense post-Civil War era, all of these emotions and feelings had built up to a particular point. Then General Granger arrives with his troops, some of whom were members of the United States colored troops, to announce that they will enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. We know this wasn't news to these enslaved people. There were channels through which they had heard about the Emancipation Proclamation, but there was nothing they could do without the Union troops to enforce it. So now they're able to enjoy this moment and recognize what they've come through. It was such a difficult time, but there was a refusal to be held down by the past and a determination to move forward. Even though they were confronted with the challenges of racism and oppression from the very moment that freedom was announced, they still decided we need to buy land because we need a space to celebrate this freedom. As soon as that very following year, you see the emergence of emancipation parks all throughout the country. It starts in Houston, but you find them in different cities throughout the country. We chose this moment to savor, to see where we've come from, to chart where we're going, and to relish the strength of our families and communities. Juneteenth has evolved over the years to mirror shifts in our struggle. Sometimes it wanes, but it emerges. After World War II, we have this new sense of pride, and the Great Migration started to carry Juneteenth throughout the United States. You see it come up again during civil rights movements in the late 60s and into Solidarity Day at the Poor People's Campaign here in Washington, D.C. in 1968. 50 years ago from that moment, Solidarity Day on June 19th, 1968, you saw activists bring it back to their communities where it developed a whole new grassroots identity. That's around the time that my family started celebrating it. Even though my family and I didn't have ties to Texas, my activist father brought it to us from Detroit to California. We don't celebrate July 4th, we celebrate Juneteenth. At its very core, Juneteenth is this affirmation that we are here, we will continue to be here, we will continue to struggle in the face of many challenges. I don't accept that last statement. Um, so that is Juneteenth, counting the emancipation. Other states were already told that the enslaved people in those particular states were free, and it got to Texas late. The notice got to Texas late, and then when they got the notice on June 19th, is now that commemorates the day that the people in Texas were like the last people to find out, hey, it's weird to say, hey, that we were brought to stolen land. The people that we were brought here to replace, they wiped them out with disease, and then they brought us here to do the free labor. But hey, we're free now. We're free now. And then they put laws into place and everything. Girl, it's a whole mess. And then the crazy part is all of this shit is based on something that is not even real. Oh, let me put my charger in. Mm. I got the notification that says that my battery is dying. So hold on, let me put that in there before the battery dies. So happy Juneteenth to everybody. Great. Let's see. I gotta get myself together. I gotta get myself together. If you celebrate Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth to everybody. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. And see, it's usually people from Texas. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't, but people that were in the South, that typically people that were in the South who have ties to Texas have taken that tradition wherever, of course, wherever they've moved. So yeah, my family's from East Texas. So yeah, so we out here. It's always a celebration. It's always a celebration. Get my bracelets. There they are. I didn't even realize in the middle of the night, I realized that I usually take off my bracelets. I don't take off my necklaces usually, but I usually take off my bracelets. And last night, in the middle of the night, I fell asleep, and I have some new bracelets, but when I need to return them because they're actually too small, and I don't want to have to like put a you know put a plastic bag over my hand, or put some dishwashing liquid over my hand to get the bracelet on. But I am about to get a jade bracelet that I just I bought for myself, that I am gonna have to slide on slide on. So anyways, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. We have another video that's supposed to premiere, and then tomorrow is the official first day of summer solstice, is tomorrow. So that's beautiful on Friday as well. To go out and get some sun. It's official first day of summer, and that's what we usually celebrate. We celebrate like we celebrate things that are actually like they're real and we could see them, right? Like I'm going to celebrate the changing of the seasons because I can see that. I know with the equinox and the solstice and all the things, right? So yeah, I get those. But yeah, we can celebrate Juneteenth. I mean, I think it's good to like acknowledge it and to say here's a day that we are going to honor our ancestors, and honor our ancestors who were here, whether they were indigenous and enslaved, whether they were African and enslaved, wherever they came from, and they were enslaved, and they were on this land, this stolen land. Or every time I think about it, every time I think about it, I get an attitude every single time.
Huh?
I said, when did you first start getting into makeup? When you was in the military?
Well, I would never know. You think I serve this trash, raggedy ass, third world, hungry, greedy, fat, rat infested, dingy, dirty, ran by a motherfucking clown, old racist ass, systemically incorrect ass, stupid ass fucking country? I would never. I'm sorry for yelling at you.
It's okay. I can't say the same. I signed on the dotted line.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you for your service.
I think about it, and it's so frustrating because when you think about it, that all this racism, all this stuff, it's all based on a lie. It's all based on the idea, on an illusion that the lighter is better. Like, can you like we're in all of this mess is because what people have, they want to control while they're here, and so they create chaos, confusion, havoc. The patriarchy is, it's just about death and destruction, and the goal, the objective is power, control, and domination, and having something else submit to you. That's it. That's what it's all about. And trying to get those people to provide free labor. That's it. Based on them having a lighter complexion. All the shit that we are that fuss about, we be down here fussing, why racism, all this stuff, and it's not even real. Race is not real. We know it's not real. We have all just agreed to it. And imagine that we have agreed to this craziness, and laws have been put in place. People can't even buy home. I'm just thinking about redlining, like how they like, oh, we're going to put you in a particular area, we're going to make sure that you're far away from hospitals and airports and put you out in rural areas, and then we're going to make, and then what's crazy, the crazy part is when you think about how your ancestors, a lot of them were sharecroppers, and how somewhere there was a disconnection from nature, where, and it's weird, and I don't know if that came with attempting to assimilate, but there was a disconnection to nature, where even black people were looked at a certain way if they hiked, if they were out in nature any kind of way. You earthy, you so earthy, right? If you wanted to farm, if you wanted to work in a field, if you wanted to have, like, they associated, I think it was like a trauma response associated with working in a field with slavery, so they like rejected everything that has to do with nature. And ironically, that's like not good. Ironically, it's horrible to release nature, because nature is, that's mother nature. That's the where you're going to get everything. It's going to come from mother, and resource and regenerate and recharge everything, everything. And I think it's because of that response to slavery that there was this thing like, I want to stay away from getting my hands in the land. And now we see black people, more black farmers are coming to the front. People are buying land so they can farm. People are homesteading. Now we see that. I've seen so many black hiker groups. Back in the day, you couldn't find, if it was a black hiker they were being made fun of. Like, you're doing white people shit. Stuff that was done in nature, ironically, was associated with white people shit. Granola, you're a granola, you're crunchy, you're walking around with no shoes on. Yeah, that's how you should be walking around. You should not have any. You should be grounded to mother. You should stay connected to mother. And now I see everybody coming back into, I say within the last, like, more people coming to the front and saying, oh yeah, this is my lifestyle. I am, plant based, or I am in nature, or I go on hikes, or I'm, into adventure. I'm jumping off of whatever. I'm doing these things that were, quote, for white people to do. It's so, I've always thought it was weird, but I always understood that that has to be where it's from. Like, people don't want to be in farming because it's too close to looking like you're enslaved and you're in the field working and tilling the land. But really, the land is where you're going to, if it's good soil, you're going to get from the land. Mother is going to provide for you, right? And I think part of trying to assimilate to, get closer to this ideal of whiteness is where that disconnect came, ironically. Ironically, right? And that's how you know that it's like a mind fuck, because at the same time, those, what you are trying to assimilate and bring you closer to this idea, those same people are also in nature. They're also taking away from the medicine women and the shamans, and taking their knowledge and then commodifying it, and then coming up to the front like, oh my God, guess what I found? I got this new idea. No, girl, no, you didn't. Where the fuck? Shut up. You don't have no new idea. Ain't no new nothing coming out of those brains. Nothing is new or discovered coming out of their brains. No, honey, they saw it somewhere else. They saw it somewhere else and got their daddy and granddaddy's money, that the money that they had made off of the slave of enslaved people. Now they got more money to come back and then repackage and resell you your ancestral practices. Girl, girl, that makes me want to cry every time I see it. I see these boxes. What do they call them? Witch boxes, and every in every box there's a piece of sage, and you can burn this sage, and then you're like, where are you getting the sage from? How's it being resourced? Where are you getting it from? And then who are you? Who owns this company? And then you see who owns the company, and you're like, how the hell are you selling back to me what the fuck my ancestors came up with and practice? I like it. I don't even know what's going on. So, anyways, happy Juneteenth. I said all of that to say happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Anyways, Real Housewives of Miami. I think I'm going to review it. I think I want to review Real Housewives of Miami because I reviewed last season, I believe, and I think I stopped. I don't know. I feel like I stopped, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's see what's going on. Girl, I really don't care. Okay, let me go because I don't care about that. Let's go to the Jasmine brand. It says 75 new posts. Did you like the video already? Go ahead and like the video and let me know what's happening.
I sponsor the now. Yes. I sponsor the blog. Let me tell you something.
Right, let's see what these say. The first one is up. This let's go down a little bit more. Let me go older and then come down. Oh, what's her name? Basketball Wives stars Brittany Renner shows off new look. I don't have blind loyalty to any person, place, or thing. She has a wig on. She doesn't have her hijab on. We can probably find my video where I said her wearing a hijab is not going to last for long. It's just not. She doesn't have the personality. I don't mind people like, okay, when you're on a journey, this part of your life is a journey, right? I mean, your life is the journey.
Never gave a damn. I ain't never gave no fuck. No. think I ever.
Your life is a journey. Oh, somebody, I'm like, what is that noise? Your life is a journey. And so in the journey, you are searching. You should always be curious. You should always be a student, forever a student. That's how I feel. I'm always curious. I'm always wanting to learn something new. And in that time, you are on a spiritual journey. And in your spiritual journey, you are going to be open to, if you are, learning new faith based practices and what those look like. And so, whether you are influenced by a man, that happens a lot, influenced by a man to start studying a particular religion, or you're interested in a religion and then you meet a man, that's what happened to me. I met a man who practiced the religion that I was studying, and then I ended up wearing hijab. I wore hijab for, I don't think, a full year. I don't think it was a full year. Honey, I was cute, honey. That's why when people are like, where you get all these scarves from? Because I used to wear hijab. I did. And but it was while I was studying. I thought, and I was like, yeah, I understand why women wear them, why it's a choice to wear them, but it's not part of my personality. And I, for one, could not practice a religion where somebody told me that I had to wear something, one, and two, if I didn't wear it, other people would make judgments about it. And to me, those judgments negated the whole idea of you wearing those things, right? So if you don't wear them and you have the right not to wear them, and then people are like people who have different schools of thought and are like old school or whatever, and they're like, no, you should wear hijab, and if you wear hijab, you can't wear, you can't have your wrist showing, you can't, or the thing that's covering you is too tight, and it's just all of these things, and it's just like another way to control women, because it is a father God religion at the end of the day. But when you do look at Christianity versus Islam, and you see how in the doctrine it calls for women to be respected, love your mother 3 times. I think it's 3 times more than you love your father. The gate, basically the gateway into heaven is at your mother's feet. You always respect your mother, blah 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 blah. But it's the gatekeepers and the men who are enforcing the rules, and the women who help them, where then the doctrine is skewed. And then now you have this patriarchal lens looking out, and now you have people judging how you wear your hijab, how your face should be covered, how this should be covered, how this, and how you should do, and da 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 da. And it's always somebody doing something. So if you have a personality that is rebellious, then that type of focus on how you are, and all you want to do is study a religion and follow a religion, and you got all these people on you telling you how you need to show up in that religion. And it's like, with all of that, that's not even the relationship. It's not between me, you, it's between me and source, period. So you coming down with your patriarchal lens and telling me how I need to show up with this hijab, I can't get jiggy with that. That goes against everything. It goes against everything. So I imagine a personality like Brittany Renner is not going to hold on to wearing a hijab for a long time. It's just not her personality. It's just not. Although you look great and it does preserve you, women look amazing in hijab. Your face looks, you just look younger. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. You look at a woman in a hijab, she just looks younger than she is. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Then they tell you you can't wear makeup, you can't have nails, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't wear nails, because when you're washing your hands to pray, it doesn't get to your nails because your nails are covered with something. So you're not really clean, like stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's those types of rigid rules that become a part of a lifestyle, that if you have a certain type of personality, you're not going to be able to follow it with that much rigidity. You just won't. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel right. When it no longer feels right to the soul, and that's the God that you're serving, right? Through this whole journey, that's the God that you're serving. It's you on this journey. You're an extension of God having an experience here. So don't betray yourself by following something that God doesn't want you to be. You're being restricted and confined and pushed into this box. That's not of God. It's not. That's a patriarchal father God religion putting parameters in place to control, dominate, suppress you at the end of the day. Then we just talk about that. I feel like we just talk about that. So Brittany Renner, I'm not mad. I've done it before. People who study particular religions, they get into the ritual and the practice. I think it's beautiful. I think the lifestyle is beautiful, but the gatekeepers ruin it. They ruin it. The men ruin it. The men ruin it. When I tell you they ruin the beauty of Islam, they ruin the beauty of their own religions by their God being a jealous God. And girl, shut up with all that dumb shit. And the woman is the reason why we're in this mess in the first place, girl. Shut the fuck up with all that bullshit. Shut up. So I'm here. I knew it wasn't going to last long for Brittany Renner. And to me, it's just a part of the journey in life. And there are so many things that women do with the influence of men. And then because of their personality, it doesn't last long, whether you're doing it with the influence of a man or the encouragement of another group of people or whatever. You find community and with a group of people. I've seen so many women take on particular faiths and practices because the influence of a man, right? But based on that woman's own individual personality, if she has a rebellious spirit about her, that's not gonna that shit is not gonna last long. And that's what she says. I don't have blind loyalty to any person, place, or thing. She's too much of a butterfly to be confined the way that she is in a cocoon like a hijab. Her wings are in there like that, right? And for some women who wear hijab, they feel that it's liberating for them. Some women feel very powerful when they wear, they feel more respected when they wear hijab. But women are not the same, and some women's personalities just can't be confined to covering themselves, because part of their expression is in their hair, is their makeup, is their earrings, is their jewelry, is their nails. You understand? Are their lashes? That's how they're expressing themselves. That's why you don't say anything about anybody. Well, I don't give a damn. That's how they're expressing themselves. That's how they're expressing themselves. And a person like her is not. She needs to be able to express herself. And a hijab is too confining for her. Now, of course, if she still practices Islam when she goes to the masjid, she will wear her hijab. But outside of that, there are a lot of women who practice Islam that don't wear a hijab at all. And the only time they wear a hijab is when they're going to the masjid, or when they're, people come around after, for Eid or whatever, and they're in their like traditional practices and celebration. But outside of that, they take them damn scarves off. They put their goddamn nails on and everything. But I really do like the nails that the hijabis are wearing with the they're like nail rings, and it makes it look like they have nails, but they're just like rings that go over the tops of their fingers, and it's like gold. Oh, it's so pretty. And then with the henna and stuff like that, it's really pretty. Okay, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Girl, I had it paused, honey. I had it paused, and I don't know what is happening, girl. So we are down here, girl. I think I should finish this video because it's already like 30 something minutes. And so I need to edit this video and get it out, and then get you another video out. I don't even remember what we talked about. So I guess I'll figure it out when I start editing it. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments, okay? I forgot what I was talking about. All right, peace.